Nation, stand up. Raider Nation, please stand up. Cover 3D Raider podcast here. Dwayne Douglas, podcasting out the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean, and out there in the Pacific, doing his thing, is Sean Oahu Raider. Hopefully, we get Monster Mash Ken from Jersey soon. But we've done this show for a couple of years now, and we have never had an opportunity, to talk about the Raiders being in a position where they're on the precipice of making the playoffs. They win. There's no like other thing. I know. The Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in a long period of time, but right. I'm confident that they'll probably win this week. Mm-hmm. So I'm not looking for Trevor Lawrence to throw 5 touchdowns and beat him. But the Raiders have an opportunity here through their hard work, and like listen, they were fortunate in a couple of games there, right? But you gotta remember, I mean, they beat the Colts. The Colts are if you watch Hard Knocks, everybody loves the Colts, and the Colts are going to do it. Colts are going to do that, but the Raiders were able to win that game. Just a quick flashback to that Colt game, real quick. What are your thoughts about that? I really feel like they were sharp early. If there was a little sharper in that on that pass to Deshaun Jackson, that could have really kind of catapulted them to victory, but. They got a Madden touchdown in that game where it went off a couple of guys, but the defense played well. I think the offense kind of sputtered in the middle, but started fast, finished strong. Thoughts about the Colts and Raiders? Wrap up real quick.
Yeah, I thought last week we kind of both looked at the game. I was favorable. I thought the Raiders would show up and get this win. I believe you had us losing in late fashion by a field goal. They were 8-point
almost.
Yeah, it could have happened, but 8-point dogs, right? 8-point road dogs in the AFC contest, and to go out and come on with a win is impressive. And I think what happened, the credit is due to getting out to a 10-0 lead, because Wentz is just not that guy to put it together. Jonathan Taylor, he got his 100-yard game. That's their first loss this season when he's rushed over 100. The defense did, for the most part. I mean, they're just patchwork. They just make it work, and we're not seeing the turnovers when we talk about the Chargers game. I think that's something we need, but they just put it together. Carr's turnovers, man. I mean, you can have those with Mullins and Drew Locks and Carson Wentz's, but this week against Herbert, those turnovers can't be there. Regardless, Carr overcame them. I'm just gonna flat out say 2 of my favorite plays of this year maybe from that game. The 4th and goal, which I appreciate Bisaccia and everyone, Olsen, for going for it on 4th. But that 4th down touchdown, Derek Carr peeled out right and threw a dart to Renfro. That's gold. And then you look at the 3rd down conversion where Carr just sidesteps one of the better defending linebackers in the league, knows he's going to take a shot low, gets hit, gets a ball off to Renfro. Luckily, they marked him down. That worked in our favor. So don't think the refs are always against us. But just to walk out of there alive was impressive. It's a big jolt to put some credibility, because we've sneaked past some bad teams and purged rosters, missing players to COVID. So we weren't really sure, is this Raider team ascending, or are they just kind of getting by? They're not scoring a lot, but they did enough. And that's all you have to do in this league is get the win. And that's why we're in position now to face another 9-7 team with their own struggles and issues too. So all in all, as a fan, it's exciting. My wife kind of knows how much of a nut I am, but she's like, so what are we grilling this Sunday? I'm like, why are you asking me this? She's like, well, aren't the playoffs on the line? So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm getting some spousal support. She knows. It's big. It's the biggest Raider game in a decade. So that's just, it is what it is. I know what you said, like if Pittsburgh loses and if the Colts lose to the Jaguars, I don't think either of those things will happen, nor should you depend on it. If they do, because you play Sunday night, maybe you talk about how many, you don't have to play a Waller because you're like, hey, give you another week to fully mend. Those things might come into play, or you put a snap count on Carr, get Mariota reps, you do different things. But right now, the way it's sitting, you're beating the Chargers on Sunday Night Football at home. That's what it is. So big win. Yeah.
I thought it was important for Wentz to play, because you don't have that excuse of facing their backup quarterback. You don't face three consecutive backup quarterbacks before you face Herbert. So who's not going to sit in that game? And listen, they did defensively they did a great job. Listen, I know people want the turnovers and all stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, man, like they're getting stops, dude. Like
Yep.
I think we gotta stop talking about that stuff. When it happens, it happens. But they're getting stops consistently, and you have to just be happy with the fact that they're getting stops because last year they were just a sieve defensively
Oh,
as
jeez.
far as that goes, night and day for those two two guys here. How about that? I mean, the trade for Denzel Perryman has been
Whew.
amazing. I mean, I can't even imagine that. And they have him on the contract for another year, so that
Yep.
works out great. Um, as, as far as that goes, I like what I've seen from him. And Littleton is on the bench, and Diablo, the Raiders draft pick, is coming in and playing well. You're seeing some minutes from Gillespie, some plays from him in the snap count. And I think the combination of like Teamer, Gillespie,
Levitt.
and Levitt is just like they're more sure in coverage. They don't guess like Abram, and I think that's where Abram might find his way to losing snap counts here. He's so athletic, so athletic and actually can a great tackler as well. But I just don't know what his future is with the Raiders because he lacks so much in coverage,
Yeah.
if you will there. They didn't let him go crazy. I think our biggest key that they didn't let Jonathan Taylor go crazy in this game. So they kind of like it wasn't that 160, 170 like they usually what the Raiders give up. And they actually been pretty good defensively against
Yeah.
the run. On the pass coverage, I mean, it's been 140. I don't give a 140 against anybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
Is phenomenal. Let's roll over to the Chargers here. My kind of breakdown of this game is more along the lines of like, listen, like I know you might see names on that squad. I kind of think that like in my mind, I really don't think Brandon Staley's done a good job.
Mm.
I think that the prevailing thought they see young. I think everybody sees young coach, young quarterback. Boom, doing a great job. Like his calling card's supposed to be defense, and they're horrid defensively.
Yep.
I mean, for all the names they have on the back of those jerseys, they're really bad out of position. They don't tackle well. A couple of weeks ago when they played the Texans, they got destroyed. And Asante Samuel Jr. was the guy who did get destroyed consistently. So the Raiders might want to pick on him going forward. But I just feel like they are not well coached on that side of the ball. And Gilbert Manzano, I think I don't remember him from the Orange County Register.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
We had him on one time, and I was listening to his podcast, and he was on the Raider podcast, and he said somebody asked him what the Chargers do well, and here's a guy who watched every snap, who's watched the entire, watched that team all year, and he said the only thing that I can honestly say they do really well is play quarterback.
Mm.
And that's a big indictment, for somebody who's seen everything from that team. So talent is there. I mean, Kenneth Murray is on the bench now.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebackers are suspects, so the middle of the field should be open. The Raiders should be able to run the football here.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's Barber or whether it's
Yeah.
Barber
Banged
or
up
Jacobs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, banging up and Jacobs seem to go hand to hand like peanut butter and jelly. If you could talk about that, but thoughts about the Raiders being at home against the Chargers here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hit the head on it. I kind of dug deep into the stats and looked at, the Chargers are 9-7, but if someone said Raiders and Chargers, the allure would probably be for someone to say the Chargers are the better team and why. This is where it is. This is what it comes down to. They are 6th in points scored in the NFL, and they're 4th in yards. So they have an offense that gets up and down the field. They have Williams, a big 6'4" wide receiver. They have Keenan Allen. They have Jared Cook. We know who he is. He's a solid veteran tight end. They have 2 running backs. They have Eckler, and his backup Jackson is a solid player too. So and then Herbert, right? Obviously, we got to talk about Herbert. He can run. He can extend plays. He's not perfect. He's a sophomore quarterback. He needs more grooming. He's in 2 years, 2 different offensive coordinators. We know how that is. Carr's gone through that. But that's what's making them their deal. But when you talked about the leaky defense, this is true. But when I started going through the stats, they're almost like the 2016 Raiders, and they're opportunistic. They get turnovers on defense. They give up a lot of yards. They're not good against the run, but they do have some opportunistic qualities that comes from Bosa and some of the back end shifty coverage guys. They've been getting some strips, some fumbles. Those things help a lot. I looked at it, their points forced to points allowed is in the 400s, and it's like the degree of separation is like 16 points. So that's why they're 9-7. They're when they're winning, they're barely winning. And like they're giving up a lot of points, they're scoring a lot of points. So it's going to be a battle of two things. So when I look at the game at home for Las Vegas, first of all, we own the Chargers wherever their stadium has ever been. But this game needs to be blackout, playoff environment, crowd surge. You're really trying to rattle this opposing team. It's on the defense. I'm heavily critical of Carr in the offense at times, but this game, I'm sorry, the Chargers are not going to beat us with a defensive stalwart effort. It's going to come down to the Raiders mitigating what the Chargers do offensively for us to, because the offense is not surging and scoring a bunch of points. It's really going to come down to, corralling the playmakers in that offense. So, and once again, can we not say more about how the special teams of the Raiders, like Cole just pinning people and Carlson? I know he missed, but I'm just still saying that
he's added that though. He's added that to his repertoire. Cole has, because he used to just be a big boomer. Now
he's pinpointing.
Now he's doing that Ray Guy shit. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's putting that thing inside the 5-yard line. So
and Renfro he had a big return. Renfro is just with everything said, with the loss of Gruden, which I could care less. I'm glad he was gone. Ruggs was a huge loss. Waller back end injury this season. Jacobs, the O-line not working. I know everything. Carr's getting a lot of credit. He should. But Renfro, if I'm talking the Raiders right now and someone's asking me who the offensive MVP of this team is, it's Renfro. I give credit to Carr, but Renfro, the way he gets open, the way he's reliable catching, he still has a special teams role he shows up to. This guy I can't think of a player on the offense that's been this young in his career and this advantageous with touches and big plays. I don't know. Maybe you can help me out. I can't think of a younger offensive player we've ever had. Maybe we hope that would have been Josh Jacobs if McFadden never got hurt, things like that. But there's nobody I can think of on offense that this young in their career has such a knack for big plays and clutch moments. We had a free agent, Crabtree, who did things like this, but not a fifth round, whatever guy. So big credit, man.
Yeah, no question about it. And I do want to give, especially for last week, I know I don't criticize Zay Jones, but a lot of people do criticize Zay Jones, because I think when you ask Zay Jones to do things that Zay Jones isn't good at, then that's just coaching. Now he's in breaking routes. Now he's doing comebacks. That's not his part of the tree that he needs to be climbing as far as the route tree goes. He needs to just be doing what he does well. And he did a great job of it. First 100-yard game. Hopefully that continues. They have that. We know what Carr, he has to trust you to throw the ball to you. As far as that goes, and he's been there for years. So now he's been able to come back and really help out. Take the pressure off of Hunter Renfrow, if you will.
I think yes, but I think what he's also done is he's mended the development we thought we would all see with Bryan Edwards. It just didn't happen. It's just not happening. So we know what Bryan Edwards can do. We know what he brings athletically, his range, but it hasn't happened. He had made some big catches earlier in the year in some of those overtime contests and games. Carr hit him, but seeing that Zay Jones is just the rangy veteran that's just kind of making it work. That helps that Bryan Edwards isn't that guy, because now we're talking about just Renfro. So good for Zay. That is a good point to bring up. That was a big stat when it went on the screen. First 100-yard game. You're thinking this guy played for the Bills. I know he's made some big plays before. I've seen some things. And
it's all hard work with him. It's all hard work with him.
It's grit and hard work. He's not a flashy player. He may be a big personality, but he just shows up and works. So, and that's kind of the identity of how this team is 9-7 is guys just next man up. We'll make it work and we'll get the most out of you. And if not, we have face on defense. That guy looks like he's a credible, good player. And then you have Phyllis. Am I saying it right? I always screw
Phylon.
up.
Phylon.
I don't know why I say Phyllis every time, but Phylon. I mean, that guy's like, you need to give him snaps. He's too energetic on that defensive
He's been
line.
great. He's been great.
I mean,
stopping a run.
And
Great
you're talking about a
run.
guy. I think he's been in the league about 6 years. And he's just like has such a great role with us. So this team is about everybody just kind of facilitating, filling in, and making it work. We've bought ourselves times by playing some bad teams and things, but again, welcome Ken. He come from a fresh snowstorm in Jersey.
No, we're waiting for it, man.
And
it's
we
coming.
got Ken on the line, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken. So there is a gentleman in Jersey who is suing the New York Giants and the New York Jets for $6 million for parading as New York teams when they play in New Jersey. Is that guy you?
Yeah, right. I can care less about that. It is kind of confusing though. It is confusing.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you guys can hear me okay, right? I'm sorry, I jumped on a little late.
Yeah, we got you.
We're waiting for that big snowstorm. We had to go and get the milk and the bread and the eggs and the milk and the bread,
Yeah.
But it's good to see you. It's good to see you guys, though. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Yeah. So we kind of get into this the Charger game here. We kind of I don't see the Jags beating the Colts. So by the time we play, I think it's going to be even though they haven't beaten the Jags, if you sneaky go look
6-0.
The Jags have not beaten Colts have not beaten the Jags in
straight.
Jacksonville in a long time. So I mean we'll see what happens there. But thoughts about going into the game here, Ken. What do you think about the winner take all? I mean, Allegiant Stadium here.
Oh man, there's no better stage. Sunday night football, Las Vegas Raiders, Chargers coming to town. Hopefully, it's a blackout game, like everybody's saying. I think this is obviously the biggest game of number 4's career. He didn't make it to. He played that great year that they had where they played the Colts and he got hurt. He didn't play after that. So this is a playoff game. This is win or go home. And I agree with you, Dwayne, on the Jaguars. As much as I would love for the Jaguars to win, that would be great. But just to make it more comfortable and even move up our seed, if everybody's saying that they should just kneel for whatever. But that's a bunch of crap. But no, I think these two teams, they hate each other. Herbert is playing MVP caliber football. Joey Bosa's still talking. That defense can play. What's the running back there? He had a nice game. Eckler had a nice game. So yeah, this is going to be a shootout. I think that everybody in the silver and black needs to play their best football. And it's been a shitty season. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been lefts and rights, and people falling asleep and exits from the freeways.
We didn't even talk about that
yet.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. But
it wasn't in a freeway, but it was still horrible.
Whatever. We'll get to that, I'm sure. But I think the stage is set. The last game of the year, how fitting, win or go home. I feel like I'm always going to pick the Raiders, but my hopes are not high, because that's the kind of season that we've had. It's just been up and down. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It should be interesting. I'm not, like I said, we'll do our picks when we're done talking about it, but yeah, I'm not, we'll see. The keys to the game, I think for Derek, obviously, is these home games in the first quarter, he's hyperventilating. I mean, it's just no other way to say it. I mean, they don't do anything in the first quarter. In these home games, and I think that's probably one of the biggest. It's a great man once said, "It's year 8." So it's year 8. So he needs to get over that part of it. And then, the defense. I think I'm excited about to see how they handle the situation. They've been pretty good in the first half of these games, man. They used to give that opening drive touchdown like they did against the Giants, but now it's like. You don't even get that up anymore. Like you don't get anything until like later in the game, if you will. So I think they have to watch the fact that last time they played, they had some really good cover three beaters there, if you will.
Yeah.
So if you had that, so we'll see what happens there. But what are your thoughts about kind of keys to the game here as the Raiders play the Chargers?
Well, I think for me, I hit on it earlier, but not a Ken's here, but just to drop it in the pool. When you talk about, big game Carr, you can have 2 turnovers against Mullins. You can have 2 turnovers against Drew Lock. You can have 2 turnovers against Carson Wentz, and you can overcome that. And we've been very fortunate to do so. You cannot have 2 turnovers against Herbert in this offense and expect the defense to bail you out. It's been happening, but I just think there's too much of a talent pool on that side of the ball for the Chargers to give them shorter fields or extra possessions. That is my biggest key to the game. And that's not just Carr. It's Josh Jacobs has had some lazy fumbles. And if his ribs are hurt and he's not his best, whoever's the ball handler, we need secure the ball. I would like to see a game where I don't see Leatherwood get a flag. He absolutely changed the complete conduct of that game with his offsides in the red zone on the big third down that game. I mean, he's not playing very well and he's not playing very disciplined. So that's another thing we need to look at. It is just mitigate all of the turnovers, ball protection, the flags, and like we need to have that clean outcome at home. On the defensive side of the ball, I really just think it's about playing well in the red zone defense. That has been our Achilles heel. The defense has been better. We know it has been. We're giving them credit. They're patchwork. They're showing up, Perriman and everybody. However, red zone defense has been a problem, just like the red zone offense has been fairly. So both those sides of the ball, to me, are the key to the game. When you get down there, let's score. I think, and I've always been saying this with a bias, but now I'm completely sold. The more snaps Mariota gets, the more aggressive Carr plays. Like, does it not seem like that? Like, does it not seem like Carr's a little bit like running more? And so I think that was important to see in that game. Mariota had a terrible fumble that went out of bounds. Terrible fumble. That could have changed the game big time as well. So ball security is important, but that's what I'm going to say. The key to the game is red zone offense and red zone defense, sharpening the stick on both those ends to secure the win. That's where I see it.
Yeah, I'll kind of carry off on what Sean just said. I think key to the game is the turnover battle. Whoever comes away with the ball more, gets more snaps, is going to win this game. I feel like the Raiders are hungry. For the first time in a while, for what they have, they're healthy. You know, we're going to have a good squad out there. And if Waller's back, that's huge. And, you know, who I think is going to benefit the most from Waller coming back is going to be Deshaun Jackson. I think we finally see Deshaun Jackson get some open plays because Waller demands that double team. Renfro is just making plays left and right. So he's demanding double teams. So I think we see the other side of the ball with Jackson hopefully getting open here and Derek distributing the ball. So I'd like to see that as a key of the game. Let's get Jackson the ball, or maybe it's 89 Edwards, or Zay Jones had a really nice game too. So whoever's playing opposite needs to have a big game. Man, I want to see Derek Carr. Another key to the game. I got to see Derek Carr go over 300 yards this game. I need to see him air it out. Josh Jacobs was a good point too. I mean, every single play, I think Dwayne said this a few shows ago, every time he gets tackled, I'm worried he's hurt. And he's so fragile. And I'm watching him play more and more. This guy goes after contact. If I'm a football player, I don't want to get tackled. I don't want to get touched. But he goes after.
No story.
There's no storm. Cut them out. I would say this. I think it's really important to win the game for a lot of reasons, obviously. But one big reason would be to kind of slow down the progress of the Chargers, to slow down Staley and Herbert, so they're not boom, new coach, second year quarterbacks playoffs. Let them struggle. Let them have some doubt, because no matter how bright the future is, no matter how much talent they have on that roster, there has to be some doubt in that if you have a 9-8 season with that kind of offensive talent, and defensively, if you're a head coach, like, what is the message? Like, what are you missing? Like, why are you so bad defensively when people say you shouldn't be? As far as Jackson getting involved, and I definitely would love to see Jackson get involved. I mean, Carr needs to understand who he's throwing to and throw the ball
Yeah.
down the field. Like his Jackson's job was to replace Ruggs. Throw it, you just throw it down the field.
Let him run under it.
Let him run under it. Do
Just
not
let him run under
throw
it.
him. Yeah, let him go. Because I mean, he had 3 or 4 balls in that game on the all 22 where where Derek checked down and when he threw an interception to early in the game.
Yeah.
The play is there. The plays are there. So he's still at his age knows how to get. If you play man coverage, press coverage, he's gonna beat it and get deep. So and when he was in Philadelphia, he's been in really good in big games. So that's a guy who I would definitely
closer.
see,
Yep.
Late in the game, 3 catches for 99 yards, kind of ridiculousness like that, where he gets a 50-yard bomb for a touchdown. Sounds like Waller's gonna be like 75%, but still better than that. But I'm also puzzled why Waller is not more of a red zone target at that speed and that weight and that height and everything like that. So that kind of bothers me as well. But listen, the Raiders are in a situation where I give them credit for putting themselves in it. They're still 3-point dogs in the game, which Vegas wise means it's even, but it also means that they're not favored. So a lot of people think that the Chargers are going to come in there and win, and this will be a long winning streak for them. I mean, 4 games in a row for Carr is a lot. He usually does not win that many games in a row in a season, but for him to do that, that would be something that that would be kind of big for him. But defensively, the Raiders don't give a lot of big explosive plays, so I'm not really worried about Mike Williams as much. I'm more worried about Eckler moving the chains on 3rd and 7. Keenan Allen doing his thing. I mean, that kind of worries me a lot. But I mean, defensively, I like what Gus Bradley's doing, and I also think in this game, when you go back and watch it, they have some really nice blitzes in that game from Hobbs, from Trayvon Moore had where if he should have had Wentz to finish that play, but as far as that goes, Ken, before you cut out, I know you had a thought there. I'm going to continue that one.
I got sacked, man. I lost the ball just like Derek Carr. The school was calling and saying that the school is out tomorrow because of the snow. Anyway, a blackout in Vegas, whiteout in New Jersey. Go figure. I don't remember what I was going to say, but I do like those points about the blitz packages. Kuntz, man, I'd like to see him get more involved because he's getting home. He can play. That kid can play. Yeah. And Diablo too. Diablo too. Get those blitz packages going. I think just to piggyback off what you're saying, Eckler is probably. You said converting these third downs. You can't say third downs. These guys go for it on 4th down. If you watch the Chargers, they're going for it on 4th down.
So the last 2 weeks, he's calmed down a little bit, but with the season on the line, I can imagine him going 3rd and 5 on his own 25. He'll go for it.
That's what I'm saying. They're playing to win and not to lose. The Raiders play not to lose. So going for it on 4th down and not kicking the field goal or not whatever it is, I want to see the Raiders go blow for blow with this. I expect a heavyweight match.
Yeah. I think both sides you'll see, because it's divisional and it's rivalry. We know each other. What's at stake? I think both teams will have, when they're inserting their game plan and going through schematically, I really think this is a game where you're going to see early and often, kind of like what we saw in the Colts with the 4th down conversion touchdown to Renfro. I think you got to see. I know Bisaccia is an interim coach. Nothing is promised for him in Las Vegas, but I just think this is playoffs. 4th down, you're going to see both teams early on bringing the whole kitchen sink. I think the Raiders will have their packages with Mariota. They'll have their packages with. They're good. It's just going to be that way because the hype of this game is playoffs or not. So, and both franchises need it. Both coaches kind of need this whole different situation. quarterback. We know Carr, there's no way he should be undoing his chin strap, jogging the sideline on a 4th and 1 past the midfield in this game. And if he's okay with that, that's a bad sign too. But organizationally, I think this is what's going to happen. So, I mean, I just, when that happens in those types of games, room for error becomes smaller because either one team massively capitalizes off stopping you, or both teams remain aggressive. And like Ken said, then you're in a shootout, right? Then the intent, it's you, the third quarter ends, you're looking up at the scoreboard and it's 27-25 and you're like, okay, every snap matters. So I think the Raiders have some veterans. Generally, they are a pretty young team. They have KJ Wright, who isn't a huge role player, but he's played in some big games in his career. But we really don't have, like, who do we look to? Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, he's been on a big stage, but somebody's going to have to pull this team together. It's going to be leadership all around. And I'm just hoping that, the game stays kind of what we think in this shootout realm, where we'll just see who makes the most mistakes. And that's what it is, man. I mean, it's the Raiders.
I feel optimism on the Sean Oahu Raiders side. Do you feel optimistic that the Raiders are going to come out on top of this one?
I do. And it's hard for me to say that, but I absolutely was confident we were going to beat the Colts. I thought we could do that. I didn't think it was as big as a chore as everyone made it out to be, even though we struggled against bad opponents. I know. I would say it's hard for me as a football fan. I mean, Hawaii canceled their bowl game. Their coach is a dictator and everyone's transferring. Notre Dame blows a 28-7 lead in their bowl game with their new head coach. So my football praise is like as low as it can be. And the Raiders are normally the team I depend on the least to provoke. But I feel there's enough of a surge. I see just interactions from fans on Twitter. Like, people are like, I'm going. I wasn't going to a game this year. I'm there. I just feel that's going to take over the city. It's going to press into Derek, into all the people on the team. Waller coming back, albeit limited. I don't even care if he's just out there on third downs or red zone. He's a presence that's going to change something on this field. Luckily, Hobbs is playing, survived a very strange incident, which should not have happened. I just feel there's enough notches on the Raiders' belt right now to where they deserve credit to belong in this game at home in this atmosphere. You don't just assume because the Chargers have some fancy players, and I just don't see it. So as for me, I'm walking into this that the Raiders can go and win. What happens after that, I think, might be very depressing. You're probably playing a Chiefs team again that's whacked us twice. But nonetheless, these players need to see what the playoffs are, and you never know what happens after that. But I'm optimistic. I don't know if we're doing predictions right now, but I'm pulling.
Go ahead.
I think the Raiders will win this game. They'll get in the 20s in their scoring range, and I think the biggest difference in this game will be the Raiders' defense will probably finally get a turnover of some sort. That will change the scoreboard for the offense that's really not putting enough points. But man, I mean, we talked about, I remember when we first did this podcast, Ken, man, he has a lot of jerseys of players. I just want to know what jersey you're wearing, and I hope you say Renfro, but I need to know what jersey you're wearing Sunday.
Oh man, a couple things. So on the Renfro jersey, it's actually a cool story. My favorite jersey that I owned was the home Renfro jersey, and I had the patch and all that from his rookie year. And I got to see my brother. I hadn't seen in like 4 years, and he doesn't watch football that much. And he was, talking about the Raiders. He's been a little bit down. So I went to go visit him down in Georgia, and I gave him my jersey. And this guy was like, he was so happy about it because I told him, like, how much the Raiders mean to me, and I want to give you my favorite jersey, my favorite player. I go, I don't care if you wear it or not, but it means a lot to me that you have it. So I did give up my Renfro jersey, my home jersey. I have an away jersey, but it's a white out, so I'm not going to wear the white one. So I'm going to go with Crosby home, man. I'm going to go with Crosby black. Yeah, I was thinking Carr because this may be his last game as a Raider. We don't know. But no, I'm going to go.
Depends what Harbaugh wants.
I'm going to go with Crosby. I'm going to kind of jump back into what I predict. And, I have I have this theory that the play calling has been crap since John Gruden has not been coaching. Granted, the red zone struggled a little bit, but I have an inside guy in the Raiders, and he told me that Bisaccia had reached out to somebody. His name is Jan Gruben, and Jan Gruben will be helping out the Raiders a little bit with a little bit of play calling. So we'll look and see what kind of play calls they do here from Jan Gruben. I don't know who this guy is. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if it makes any improvements in scoring. But the scoring's been down. We got to score over 20 to 25 points.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that it's like I said, it's going to be a shootout. Do I think the Raiders are going to win? Do I want to believe they're going to win? My heart says every game I think the Raiders could win. But it all depends on number 4. It really does. I think that if he can play like that first drive he did in the Colts, man, that was solid, man. He was laser on point. Hitting. If he can do that for 4 quarters, man, he could be the best quarterback in the league, right?
Yeah. I want to hit on some. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
No, I'm going to say it's a win.
So this is something I know I tweeted it earlier this week, but just for perspective, when we're talking about scoring points to win, I'm going to take the Chargers last 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take their last 5 games. 41 points, 37 points, 28 points, 29 points, 34 points.
Wow.
Okay. This isn't a 2017. I mean, if you win that way, great. But it does not. This is not a game where you think whatever worked the past few weeks will. The touchdowns need to come. That's why I said the aggression and the red zone offense. I mean, you cannot expect to beat the Chargers putting up 20, 22, 17. So yeah, man, but good points, Ken. It's tough, and I'm glad you're wearing a Max Crosby jersey. I think he's pretty indicative of kind of the underdog mentality of what this team's been through all year. I mean, we've had a lot of issues with Ruggs and Hobbs and Grudens, but we do have, 2 guys like Waller, who's going for man of the year player for what he does off the field. And we do have a guy like Crosby who got sober and got right into ship. So maybe those type of guys, eliminate some of that negativity and make big plays. But I love the pressures from Crosby, but let's get a sack, dude. Let's you can lead the league in pressures. You can pressure someone and they can still throw a 60-yard touchdown. You sack someone, they're not throwing a touchdown. So let's get a sack this week.
Yeah. Sack and turnovers, man. Sack and turnover. Yeah. Strip sacks.
So the Raiders most likely won't go to Kansas City if they win the game. They can't be the 7th seed. They have to be, they'll be the 6th seed.
Right. Okay.
So you're looking at
Buffalo.
Buffalo
most likely
or
Tennessee.
Buffalo Buffalo or Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati as far as that goes.
Snow game. It's going to be a snow game.
Because it looks like
really
looks
good
like New England
quarterbacks.
Looks like New England and Buffalo are kind of going in that direction of playing for the 3rd time this year. So for me, obviously, this is the reason why I started writing articles for a website called Sports Time HQ, and my first article was like, "This is what Allegiant was built for." Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely, it's absolutely. So they have to go out there and play like that. I think they have to be just kind of show that they're the tougher team. When you're playing a team with like flashy names, I think the talent is equal. When I watch both teams play, I mean, it's the reason why they're both 9-7. So I'm not worried about that. I think that though, the reason why I go with the Chargers in this game is because if I close my eyes and I tell you that somebody's going to go, 27 or 32 for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, I don't think you could honestly say that out of these 2 quarterbacks, if I told you those numbers, you'd probably would say Herbert would be the guy who would do that. Who would do that?
Yeah.
Not Derek. Unfortunately, Derek has 21 touchdowns and he has more turnovers than he has touchdowns this year. Yep. That's not me being crazy. A
career highs and
hater
and interceptions.
That's not me being a
that's
hater.
facts.
That is factual information. So, and it's not because, I am not like a football, like running your mouth and talk. I mean, I do spend the time to watch film, and as much as you want to kill, you want to kill Brandon Parker, if you want to kill Will Leatherwood, when he drops back to pass, he's getting league average protection.
Yep.
So it's not like he's not getting beat up back there. He's not getting. I mean, so obviously playing quarterback, you're vulnerable. You're gonna get hit. So I mean, but Parker's been playing his behind off. Like he's playing as hard as he can.
Yep.
He's not the most talented right tackle in the world. He's not Mo Collins. He's not
No.
Lincoln Kennedy. But I mean, he has not been what we thought he was going to be when Denzel Good went down. So that part of it is big. I just don't know. I mean, there's times where I love Renfro, but there's times where I'm watching on film and he is staring at Renfro until he gets sacked. Until getting that head off of that player to another player would be nice. I think the running game and take a little pressure off early would be huge. That's going to be a big part of the game. I think, and also I just feel like part of me is, until Derek does it, I can't pick him to do it. I mean, I hate to be like,
you're right.
Hard to be. I'm stripping away. I mean, come Sunday night, I'm gonna have my drink ready. I got Monday off the next day.
Yes,
so
sir.
I thought you don't drink when you watch games. That's what I was told.
This one's done.
New year, new me.
New year, new me. I can't. This one I need to relax during this game. So I got my whole Sunday plan. I'll be out all day. Come back around like 4:30.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm not watching any football on Sunday until that game. So I just don't. I could see a situation where they get out big early, and then when they kind of figure it out, maybe coming up and swiping away at like a 24-23 Charger victory. They are. I really feel like they're the better team. I just like they're better. They're just coached better. They're more. They're not sitting there waiting for that flashy play like that. That team is waiting for the turnover. That team is waiting for like when they played the Texans. I watched that whole game and I watched it all 22. Like you could tell it. The Chargers were waiting for that somebody just to get a turnover to kind of make the game down, and they never got any of that. So as far as the Raiders go, I mean, they're capable of winning this game. I don't want to see that because I think like the Raider fans, I think the Raider players who fought through this crazy season, it would just be a nice cherry on top. To win this game and get to the playoffs, and we can't just have a week. I don't care who they play, just a week of being able to talk about the Raiders being in the playoffs. But I think I was going to be rooting like hell for them to win, but I just kind of think they kind of fall short at the end. They cover that 3 number, but I think they might fall short in this one because I just think Herbert. I mean, also too in this game, like you had a chance to get Herbert down. I know on one blitz, Nahas was trying to poke at the ball and what's his name? Carson Wentz was able to kind of turn it, get to the left hand of Hobbs. Just, at this point, this game, get him down, like just get him down, and try to make his life hell as much as possible. But I do, I'll talk about my other podcast, the Raiders podcast. I talk about the middle 8 in the last 4 minutes of the first 4 minutes of the second half. And I thought that was one of the reasons why that game was even closer with the Colts because give credit to Leonard on that fumble because damn it, if they get that first down, then they're just gonna run the clock out, probably score a touchdown, and then go up 3 scores, right? Instead, they give a touchdown, and then they have the Hail Mary basically because it's a horrible pass. It's a horrible pass. Horrible decision. I mean, he's never open. The guy's never open, but that's Carson Wentz. But yeah, so I mean, a lot to do about nothing as far as that goes. I really feel like it'd be nice to see them win it. I'm not ready to go talk about the Senior Bowl. I'm not ready to go talk about who's going to coach who wants to coach the Raiders next year. I just want to see a playoff game, and I feel like they are good enough to do it. I just feel like the offense has to really. Go out there and score 30, dude. I mean, like before the bye, we were scoring 30. Like, I mean, like, you play the Eagles playoff team, score 30 points. Like, And the Eagles are a better team offensively, defensively than they were then. But they're not good defensively. Take advantage of that opportunity. If you get an opportunity to like stop them on 4th down, stop them there and give Derek and that offense a short field. That'd be nice as well. That should be a turnover. As well, but they really need they really need somebody to step up defensively and like take the ball away. I mean, I think that would make me as soon as they get a takeaway from Crosby, takeaway from any of those guys there, that would really kind of make me feel more comfortable. But I just feel like maybe years of disappointment have kind of scorned me, but I just feel like hopefully they come out with a victory, because I think the city, it would be a great way to maybe Derek's years of his 30s to be better than his years of his 20s. Yeah. And then we can see what happens as far as that goes.
I think when you talk about the turnover, it sounds like Hayward to me. I mean, he's been close.
Poetic justice.
He's been, and he's a former Charger. He knows Herbert a little bit. He's been close.
It'd be nice to see Denzel get one.
Oh, sure, that former Charger as well.
I'm gonna go with Hobbs, man. Hobbs for the win. You got to make up for the mistake he made.
Oh,
you know?
Hey,
yeah.
As a fan, I'm selfish. I need Hobbs to play, but as an organization, they say we take this serious. If they took it serious, they'd say you're not playing this week.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll all see what happens here on the Cover 3 Raider podcast about what's going to happen this. I mean, it's going to be. I'm excitedly. I mean, I miss that exciting nervousness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that you have in big games. The Raiders have not had big games in a while. But enough about the game. I don't want to talk about coaching candidates, except for the fact that it sounds like
kind of have to. Yeah,
you kind of have to in this situation, because it'd be nice to have Jim Harbaugh take over a playoff team. I know on Twitter, I just thought it was maybe his agent kind of like working it. But we'll see as far as that goes. What are your thoughts about Jim Harbaugh? If you look at the records, I mean, I think his first year was 12-4, 11-4-1, 13-3. He's a guy like Parcells where it would be a short-term high success kind of situation.
3 years.
But and I think Derek has kind of the same skills as Alex Smith. My God, they're kind of if not better. I mean,
good comparison. So, great comparison.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts about Jim Harbaugh taking over the Raiders possibly?
I'll jump in on this one first. I do think the Raiders need that, a winning coach with a winning mentality. And I love a defensive coach. I really do. I mean, you saw what he's done with these other past teams with the Niners, especially. So yeah, I'd love to see Harbaugh. I don't know if it's too early to be talking about that. I don't think Bisaccia is the answer here. Bisaccia is like that cool substitute teacher you get. And, you kind of play around a little bit when he's there. He's cool. He does a little bit in there. But then you're waiting for the teacher to come back in. It's like, all right, guys, playtime's over. Let's go win some games. But Bisaccia has done what he had to do. He's made it this far. We're playing meaningful football in the last week of the season, and hopefully next week as well. Dwayne, I love your points about, being nervous to watch a game because it means something. And so that's something that I'm looking forward to, is that nervousness, like you said, and I will be drinking as well. So yeah, as far as Harbaugh goes, I'm in. I'm all in, and I don't want somebody. I don't want a coordinator. I want a coach that's experienced and that can demand greatness.
Yeah, I think
Harbaugh or Peterson for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think Harbaugh is the only college coach I would accept, because he's done it at every rank. Yeah. I think what Harbaugh has done, which has been massively impressive, is he's won at different landscapes with different challenges. Stanford is very hard academically. It's more of a nerdy type school, and he built a football winning program. He's bounced around. The Niners were really bad when he got there. Okay. You're talking about, they were similar to the Raiders. They were, in ESPN, the jokes and the memes and the coach. I mean, they were bad. They had dysfunction with players.
Jimmy Tomsula? Remember Jimmy Tomsula?
Tomsula.
And I know that organization has polished up with John Lynch and Shanahan and different things. But I'm just saying, like, he won with Alex Smith and then got Alex Smith credible enough to get trade value to trade him to Kansas City. And then he won with Kaepernick. He went to Michigan, which is a good, sturdy program, but never was there. He got them to beat Ohio State and have some success in the Big Ten. I mean, these are different challenges. They're different regions of the market. They're different. And he's been liked where he's gone, but he's worn out fast, like Dwayne said. That's fine with me.
That's fine with me.
I'm good with it.
I'll take those 4 years.
And I think he's perfectly versatile to where the fact that he comes in and he can easily keep a Derek or play with a younger quarterback or a vet and still maintain the success. I think the whole argument won't even matter. It's just going to be what he wants to do. He does like a little bit more of a physical trench game warfare, which I kind of like. I guess I'm an older person with a fan of the game. But he's also open to sound schematical changes. So I think he's an outstanding hire. He does have a small Raider connection. That was his first coaching gig that Al Davis got him in the NFL. So everything's there. It's just a big flip for him to take his kids, the kind of life he lives and things. I think it's weird for him to supplant his life in Las Vegas. I think that's a little different for who he is with his khaki jeans and Sharpie around his neck. Vegas is not really the fit. I think it would have been the fit if we were still in Oakland. So, but I don't know how much that matters to him. But I think what you're doing is getting a guy on his last. The only danger is if you get Harbaugh, I think that's his last coaching job. It's 3 years and then I'm a media career. That's it.
Yep.
So is he just going to get the bag from Mark Davis and be like, I'll come down there. Yeah, maybe I'll do this, keep Carr, but this is it. I'm getting my last bag and I'll be on Fox NFL Sundays, just talking about football after this. So that's my only kind of concern. But if you give me 2-3 years of playoffs and then there's some protege underneath him for the future, sign me up. I think he's an incredible hire. I think the type of locker room we had that went through all these issues, I think he's a perfect person for that. I've kind of see how he conducts himself as a human. He gives money back to people. He's good with the community. I think Mark knows he can't have another coach. Like Dwayne said, check the emails. Like, is there anything out there on this guy? I think Harbaugh's a pretty liberal, progressive, kind of a unifier of different people and backgrounds. I mean, at Michigan, he was bringing in Migos to play like concerts to recruit kids. And like, he's really has, though he wears those khakis and looks this way, he kind of knows what he's doing. Right. So he kind of knows how to sell himself in a market. And I think, I honestly, I would be absolutely astonished and happy. I think if the Raiders lose Sunday, they'll let you know Monday they're hiring Harbaugh. That's how I think it's all set up personally. But
yeah, we'll see what happens there. Listen, we gotta run. We haven't, second year we're doing this, and we haven't been able to do as many shows as possible because family, that happens, and I got and I got a 2-year-old, so. So you know how that goes. you know how that goes. But thank y'all for listening to us and watching us over this last season. And I'm hoping that this is not the last show of the season. Oh yeah. So we'll see what happens here. Hopefully I am dead wrong. Like I was. I hope I was dead wrong as far as that goes. All right, guys. Take care. Cover 3D Raider Podcast. We're out.
Ken, be safe. Be safe, man.